If you live in a coastal condition, there are a variety of plants that you can choose which have adapted to survive in coastal, windswept and salty air. The key things to look for are thin leaves that you see here on the lavenders. So any of the lavenders would do fine. They've been adapted to survive in free draining sandy soil, typical of coastal conditions. They don't dry out, they're sort of drought resistant because they've got these thin leaves, so there's less water which is lost through the leaf. Another really good one, which is a classic coastal plant, is a Tamarax. These can grow to about sort of 3 to 4 metres, maybe taller, and they put on lovely, soft, pink, fluffy flowers. And again, they've got these fine leaves, which means that they can survive in drought and wind-tolerant conditions. Another classic is, of course, the rosemary. And there's lots of obviously different varieties of rosemary, some which are upright growing and they grow quite tall, Mrs. Jessop's upright, or there's a prostratus variety which you can have on the top of like a Cornish wall or on top of a hedge, and it will just cascade down. Another good one would be the varieties of Phlomis. This one here is Phlomis fruticosa. And again, it's got little tiny hairs on the leaf, which prevents it from losing moisture on the leaf because the hairs sort of keep a little moisture barrier around the leaf. And it's got the silver bits, which kind of reflect the sun as well. These are really good for pollinators as well. The bees love this plant. They've got like a tiny little yellow pea-like flowers on there. For something taller, you can go for a Muhlenbeckia. And of course, another classic for coastal planting are your cordylines. You've got the classic Australis, which is the green foliage variety. This one is Cordyline Australis Red Star. And of course, the Hippophae, the Seabuck Fawn, is really good, almost like a hedging plant for coastal conditions. You see it growing all over the Towns in Cornwall. It likes free draining soil, and again it's the silver leaf foliage, and it's quite happy in drought. It can survive drought as well. Then for a bit of structure, you've got the Tracheocarpus, and then further around here, another sort of an evergreen plant you could choose for structure. You've got your Osmanthus Birkwoodii. So all of these would survive in a coastal garden next to the sea or within a 2-mile distance from the coast. And they generally have glaucous blue foliage, silver-leaved, resin with the rosemary and the lavender, and you can have really good fun with all of the different structures and textures and have a really lovely coastal garden.